Now, as you might have heard, African leaders have established a new independent African School of Governance. It's an initiative founded by the president of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, and the former Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Haile Mariam Desalegn, with support from the MasterCard Foundation. The initiative is aimed at transforming leadership across Africa by providing world-class public policy education, research, and engagement programs to address Africa's governance challenges with homegrown solutions. With an esteemed governing board and Nigeria's Professor Kingsley Moghalu as its inaugural president, ASG is aiming to nurture purpose-driven leaders equipped to shape Africa's future. Well, for more of this, I'm joined now on the line by the new president of the African School of Governance, Professor Kingsley Moghalu. Thank you very much indeed, Professor Moghalu, for joining us. So you've been given charge of grooming the next generation of African leaders in a continent that appears to have a massive deficit in leadership and public policy. That's quite a tall order, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. But it's a doable thing if we set our minds to it and we have a strategy to achieve that vision, which is what we do have at ASG, the African School of Governance, which is the new university that you've spoken about. So, yes, it will take a bit of time. Rome was not built in a day, but the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step.
Well, indeed. What will you be teaching there? What programs will you be offering and to whom?
Well, I mean, the African School of Governance is a master's degree only institution. It's not an undergraduate institution. It's a graduate level professional school of public policy. And so we will be offering the degree of Master of Public Administration, MPA, and it's a 2-year degree, and it's for young mid-career professionals, people who've been out of university for anything from 3 to 7 years or even 10 years, and who want to acquire certain skills to advance to transformational leadership. So we will also be having executive education programs, short courses of 2 to 3 weeks. For senior executives in governments, the private sector, and civil society. I don't know if I mentioned that the MPA degree is a 2-year degree. And we also have an executive MPA degree, which is part-time. In addition, we will have other programs, the Young Professional Leaders Program. We will also have the Senior Leaders Fellowship Program for retiring heads of states or other senior leaders who want to reflect on their experiences and transfer those experiences and knowledge to the next generation. The bottom line is this, Charles. African countries tend to make the mistake of thinking that their problems are debt restructuring, debt relief, aid. They're always thinking that more and more money will solve Africa's problems of development. No water in our communities, no electricity, very poor healthcare, and very weak education systems. The reason we have these problems is because most African countries, not all, but most, are very poorly governed. That's the fundamental problem. And that's the reason ASG was created.
And I mean, is some of what you'll be doing at the school in public policy, leadership, public administration likely to filter into current governance and governments in Africa?
Yes, that's the hope in the medium to long term. We hope that the school will open its doors to its first students in September 2025. And since it's a 2-year program, you begin to see the first graduates in 2027. And we hope that from then on, within 5 years, you will begin to feel the impact because we will develop a system to begin to place these graduates in strategic positions in governments across the continent, in the private sector companies across the continent, and in social enterprises across the continent. So yes, we have a plan to do that. And it's just a matter of time, and those plans will be executed and the impact will be felt. You know, Harvard University or Columbia or Yale and Oxford, you know, they were founded some time ago, hundreds of years ago. They were new universities. But today they're revered and have played a very influential role in our world. This is what the ASG, the African School of Governance, will be in decades and years to come. So we also have a founding strategic partnership with the Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy at the National University of Singapore. So that's very good, because Lee Kuan Yew School is for Asia what African School of Governance, ASG, intends to be for Africa. You know, a world-class institution grounded in African realities and with context-relevant education, research, and policy engagement.
And I mean, it sounds very exciting, I have to say, but as you take on this new job of president of the African School of Governance, I mean, do you think young Africans live in much more darker times politically today, with wars and insurgencies raging, along with the illegal immigration crisis?
Yes, I mean, young Africans have a lot of challenges, and their future is at stake. The whole point of the ASG is to help them, to equip them with the mindsets. Very important, this matter of mindsets, because it's not just skills or knowledge, but as a man or a woman thinketh, so is he or she. It is necessary to imbue in them a worldview of transformation, the ability to provide purpose-driven leadership, leadership beyond self and self-service and self-aggrandizement. So the future is in their hands to make, and we intend to equip them to be able to mold and shape that future. We have problems of population crisis in Africa. We brag about our large populations, you know, in 2050, Nigeria will be the third most populous country in the world after China and India. That may be true, but is this going to be a skilled, educated, productive population? That's the question we must answer today, because the future belongs to those who shape it, who create it. The future is never an accident. It's something you create today.
Indeed. And on that rather powerful, hopeful note, I want to thank you very much indeed. Unfortunately, we have an abridged version of the program today. I would have loved to talk to you a lot more. Professor Kingsley Moghalu is the president of the African School of Governance, that is, of course, located in Kigali, Rwanda. He's talking to me there on the line from Washington.